Hi guys! I'm really sorry there wasn't a video last week. Last week got away from me. I completely blanked that it was Friday. I ended up buying a new bookcase, which I love because, pretty books, but also highlights the fact that nothing in this flat is, level or straight or flat. So I'm really sorry. It's really bugging me that you can see quite how tilted it is. I will endeavour to make it less tilted for next week. But today I wanted to do a topic that I've been talking about. I mentioned way back in my introductory video, I wanted to talk about French covers versus UK versus US covers. Because we always talk about UK versus US, but we don't really talk about any of the other European covers, which is a shame because there are some really awesome covers. So some books stay exactly the same. The Fault in Our Stars has the same cover in the US, the UK, and in France. The only thing that changes is the title. But I'm going to do a different video at another point about different titles for French books because there are quite a few really strange ones. So some of the biggies stay exactly the same. Some of the biggies also change. There doesn't seem to be any pattern between what changes and what stays the same. But I'm going to talk to you about two of my favourite books, which I happen to have copies in all three because I'm obsessive and I love them. So the first one is The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the UK cover. It is very girly and hearts and horses and yeah. I like it a lot, but it does not do the book justice. This immediately smacks of, this is a girly book, boys stay away, which is a shame because it's good for both people. This is my favourite book. This is my husband's favourite book. This is so many people I know's favourite book. And it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl. There is so much in this book that everyone will love. It's got the dual narrative, it's got Sean and it's got Puck, so you have boy and girl perspectives. And I think that this cover doesn't really do it justice. I like the cover a lot, but it does make it seem like a very girly hearts and horses book, which is deceptive. Then you have the US cover, which is a lot darker. It's got the single horse and rider, it's shiny, which is always great, and it doesn't immediately make you think, oh, this is a girly book. This is more of a neutral cover. I like that it's darker. I love the continuation of the red. I love the silhouette of the horse and the rider. I really love the US cover. And it's probably my next favourite along. But my actual favourite is the French cover because this has gone completely the other direction to the UK cover. It's much darker and heavier. There's blood, there's really dark foreboding clouds. There's the silhouette of the horse and the rider, which is much more obviously Sean and Core rather than Puck and Dove. And it really completely destroys any of the girly stereotypes of, oh, this is a horsey book. Yeah, I love it. It's moody. I love it. It's great. It's, my favourite of the three. So I really like that all three of them have got the motif of the horse. In fact, if you look at all of the other covers, there's a different cover for each country, actually. And they all have that motif of the horse, but done in very different ways. The Spanish one, for example, is it's a very stencil type horse. And I love them. They're really cool. They all take the red. They all take the horse motif. But I like how they use them in different ways. But as you can see, the UK one is very much geared towards girls, and the US and the French ones are more gender neutral, which is really great. The other book I want to talk about is Graceling by Kristin Cashore. I actually have Graceling and Fire in all three covers. I'm just waiting on Bitter Blue, but I thought I would do Graceling today. This one is the UK cover. It is dark. I like the silhouette of the girl. I'm not sure. I mean, I love that it's Katza and I love that she's got a big badass sword, but it makes it seem very, it kind of makes me feel like the games where you have the girls with the skimpy armour and the massive swords. So it doesn't really do it for me. I want her to be less, look, I'm so cool, I'm such a badass, look at my sword. So I like the cover. I like that she's more in silhouette and we can't really see much of her features. I like the darkness of the cover, I like the font and stuff, but it's not really my favourite. My favourite of the three is actually probably the Fire cover, which again is silhouetted. Well, sort of silhouetted, you can see bits of her. But this one, I don't know, the big sword just puts me off. I love that it's Katza and it's her big weapon, but it just, yeah, it's more sort of fantasy games idea of a girl than anything else. So I like it, but it's not a favourite. The US cover I'm much more fond of though. It is shiny, so you can't really see. It's got the single dagger on the front, and you can see her eye, one of her eyes reflected in the blade. I really like that it gives you an immediate feel that it's going to be a fantasy book. I like that you get that tiny glimpse of Katza, one of her eyes. But it doesn't really make it sexualized or, I don't know. I just prefer the neutrality of this one. And then you have the French cover, which I'm really not fussed on at all. It just, yeah, it's Katza, sure, yeah, okay, it's Katza, but it just, it doesn't excite me for the book in the same way as the other two do. The other two are really great for that. They really got me really excited about what might be inside of the book. This one really doesn't. I think that the French cover really sort of sells the story short, which is a shame. It kind of goes the same way for Fire and Bitter Blue in the French covers. UK and US, they really sell it. It's great. But the French ones really don't. And it's quite a shame because these are some of my favourite books and they really don't do it for me. It kind of makes me feel of those old romance novels you'd find at petrol stations. The hand-drawn covers just don't really work for me in the same way. I like that we get Katza on all three books. I like that you get her weapons and her ferocity coming through in all three. But I like how the American cover particularly has stylized it so that it's less of a sexualized book and more of a just hey look, this is a fantasy book and it's going to have weapons and it's going to be badass. So those are two of my favourite books in three different covers. What do you guys think? Do you have a preference? Do you like the UK ones, the US ones, the French ones? Have you ever really looked at European covers? I'm curious because there's something that I'd never really thought of looking at before until I came over here, and then I started looking for books and going, that isn't the book I remember. And some of them are really great, as you can see, but some of them don't really tick the same boxes and don't seem to capture the essence of the story in the same way. So I'd really love to hear from you guys. Do you have a preference for any of the books that I've shown you the covers? Do you want to see more of this? I can go out and find more books. It's great fun. And also I will be doing in a few weeks' time looking at the different titles for different books because the posters for the Paper Towns film have been really confusing for me because I've been looking at those and going, that's not Paper Towns, that's about Margot. So that's me done for this week. I will see you guys next week and let me know on Twitter and in the comments below what you think of the covers.